Hey, what's up, everybody? So I have a special person on the line to give us a testimonial today. This is Cam, and Cam and I we go way back to college. But he ended up purchasing my training without me even knowing, and then started making some profits. And then just recently, he actually came to me and said that he wanted to work with me because he believes in the market maker movement and what we've got going on here. So, Cam, thanks for hopping on with us.
Sure, no problem. Glad to be on here.
Cool. So let's jump right in. Let's get into the results you've seen because I know people want to hear that. And then after, I want to kind of dive deep into like why you wanted to work with the market maker movement, and kind of like how your story has evolved as a trader up until this point. But let's start off with, what you started with. How long ago was it when you purchased the training, and how much have you been able to profit?
Sure. So I purchased the training. It was in July of 2018, and one of the most significant moments when I saw like the results finally coming in, and my biggest day was, I believe the exact amount was over $5,300. So
Nice.
after that day, I was like, all right, this is a lot of potential. It works.
Uh,
I need to get really good at this and make this my full time focus.
cool. And how much did you end up starting with the 53?
So the beginning account that I had was about a little bit over $5,000, so about $5,500 to start with.
Okay. So a decent amount.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in your experience, you went through the training a little bit. Were you weren't like a previous trader or anything, right? Or investor?
No, so I was really fresh to trading overall, and it all started when we first started talking back at ASU,
Hmm.
and uh, after I graduated, I got into digital marketing, and
Okay.
I liked the work that I did, but uh, the digital marketing space, as I'm sure that got really competitive,
Yeah.
and uh, my business partner and I, we had to drop our prices all the time just to stay competitive, and I just got really tired of it. And when I looked at how much we were making and how much time I was putting in at least 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hmm.
And I looked at like, well, this isn't really, what I expected it to be. So, I started looking at all other alternatives, what I could do to kind of have supplemental income that I could turn into real full-time income.
Okay.
And so, I knew that you traded before, and then I saw that you started becoming really successful. But when I first started hearing about it, I'm like, man, I have no clue what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever learn it. It seems way too complicated. Like what most people think when they first hear about trading,
Yeah,
right?
it's scary a little bit.
Yeah, everybody makes it out to be some complicated thing, and that takes really long time to develop your skills. So I never like really looked into it. But then I saw how much results you were seeing with your students, and I saw you with like Ty Lopez, and
Mm.
I saw you with Grant Cardone. I'm like, man, if he's teaching his students, I can probably learn this myself as well.
Yeah.
So I did unfortunately, what most people do when they first get started. They go on YouTube and they try to learn from this person, and then they try to learn from this person and try to piece it all together and hope for the best.
Hmm.
Well, that didn't work out. Uh, didn't have much results, and actually blew a few accounts. And at that point, I was like, all right, I need to get on Nemo's program. I need to just focus on his strategy
Hmm.
because it's clearly working, and I need to get mentored by him. So
Cool.
that was in July. Then in August, starting seeing consistent results,
So
and
you brought up a question for me.
mhm,
So like you started with like $5,500 or 5,000 or so like that.
mhm.
Um, in your experience, now that you've went through the training a little bit, do you feel like you could have seen similar success with less than that, or do you feel like that's like the starting point of where you think things should be?
No, that's a really good question, and my main focus in the beginning was how can I have the most money in my account so I can make the most. But
Yeah.
then I started thinking a little bit differently, especially when I started working with you. Is like, instead of focusing on my account, focus on my skills first.
Hmm.
Develop the skills, because you can have $500 in your account and you could turn that into a lot of money if you're consistently trading on a profit. So
Absolutely. Okay. So perfect then. So you said that you had a background in like digital marketing, and this whole trading thing was like completely new to you. You've definitely, you said that you've seen about 100% on your return. Um, so like what's the reason why you wanted to work with me, so that the audience kind of knows, people that are watching this at home, um, why is it that you believe in the market? I know that you made money, but other people have made money too, but very few come saying, hey, I want to like really get involved in this. And so I'm curious to see what you have to say, or telling the audience what they are
yeah,
probably
so
wondering.
just looking at my past experience of like how I started off with knowing absolutely nothing, and that's how most people are.
Mm,
I looked at this. I'm like, all right, if I can see results with this, and I can uh, replace majority of my work in the digital marketing business that I have to just focusing on trading,
mhm.
I know it can work for others.
Right.
So as soon as I started seeing results from your specific strategy, I said, all right, this is simple to grasp, it's simple to understand, and I know other people can benefit from this. How can I be a bigger part of this vision?
Right.
So, and this new program where you have the mentorship, and I mean, I think that really combines all the essential elements for someone to go from knowing absolutely nothing about trading to becoming a successful full-time trader.
Okay. Cool. I love that answer. Because that's really the goal behind everything. Um, okay, so another question for you, and I'm not gonna ask too many, but if you had to say something to a person who's kind of like on the fence here, they're looking at other people's results, they're kind of doubting themselves, wondering if they should go ahead and make that leap. What would you say to them? Because I mean, you obviously were just in their shoes not too long ago. You were trying to go to YouTube and figure things out on your own before you purchase the training and the mentorship. Like, what would you say to that person who's kind of like, I don't know? Um,
Yeah, that's a good question. And personally, I truly believe that most people, they want more out of life, right? They're either unfulfilled or unsatisfied with a certain aspect of their life.
yeah,
And if that's the case, the first step is to commit to change, right? That you do want to make a change and you want to improve that aspect of in your life. And if you truly believe that this is, that you do want to become a full-time trader, pick one strategy, one mentor, and just focus on that.
mm,
Because there's a lot of distractions online, and there's all these so-called gurus that will promise you the world, um, but when it comes down to actually developing the skills and working with someone, uh, they give them only half of the information in order to be successful.
yeah,
So picking one strategy, one mentor, and sticking to that, hyper focusing on it, and 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 staying persistent with it.
okay. No, that's sound advice. I know that I'm not getting the testimonial right now, but everyone watching this, that's like the key to everything. Just stick to one thing as long as possible, and then if that doesn't work over time, then maybe it might be time. But I promise you, if you stick to one thing, then it'll shift your mindset, and you'll be able to find your rhythm, in kind of like your own truths behind the market. So I got like one or two more questions, depending on how you answer this one. So or the question I want to ask is, we obviously have like this big movement, that we're building here, and it's becoming so much bigger than just forex trading. So, what are the like other benefits that you've kind of found either from me as a mentor or from the training that we offer itself?
Mhm.
Are there any other benefits that you found or any other things that you'd want to say?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the most obvious is kind of the epitome of why people want to become traders. To They can work from anywhere in the world, and there's a lot of potential to make money. But that in itself is probably not gonna make you truly happy and fulfilled. Like, there's a lot more to life than just money and having everything to yourself.
Yeah.
So what personally for myself, I wasn't raised with, I didn't come from money.
Okay.
My dad passed away when I was 10. I've seen my mom work two jobs majority of her life just to put food on the table.
Hmm.
And I always knew I want to be an entrepreneur because I knew the traditional route of going to college, uh, getting the regular job, working at 40 years, and hopefully having enough for retirement was not going to help me accomplish the goals that I had, for myself, but also my family.
Yeah.
So my goal has always been to kind of give back to my mom and the rest of my family, for all the years of hard work that they've put in. And uh, this by far is the best solution that I found, because again, we were pretty successful with our digital marketing business, and the money was pretty good, but it was taking up all of my time. Right,
Yeah.
I was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I have no time for anything else. So
Hmm.
even though I was saving up a good amount, it's still not having time to even spend time with my family that I'm trying to help out kind of defeats the whole purpose. So,
Exactly.
and I think that's the main thing that people struggle with is how do you find that balance between making enough as well as having free time for whatever you want to do, whether it's
Hmm.
traveling or spending time with your family. So I think this is kind of the best of the both worlds of how you can combine those two, and you know financially it's been life changing what it has done for me as well as my family, and that's kind of been the focus of this entire venture.
Okay. You actually did bring up another question for me. Sorry to hound you.
No
Um,
worries.
but it sounds like the bigger benefits for you is obviously more money and more time. And that is huge, for a lot of people. So if that's been like the hidden benefit for you, I'm glad because that was like one of the big things that hooked me as well in the beginning. But the question that I kind of sparked up was, you said that you didn't have much time because of your current business, and I'm sure there are people watching this that they work a normal job, that 40 hours per week, some probably 50, 60 hours per week, even more. And then there's also people that are watching this that they're kind of small, or their funds might be a little small right now. They don't really know what to do to make things happen for themselves. So it seems like you kind of dealt with both of those, and you've kind of had the best of, I don't know if it's both worlds, or best of worst worlds or whatever. But so what would you say, to those people like that might be stuck with little time or little money? How can you help them, or what would you say to them to motivate them or inspire them that they can do this? Because I'm sure they're wondering if they can right now.
Sure. So the way I look at it is like, what do I need to do, sacrifice short term in order to get to my long term goal, right? So addressing the time issue. If someone doesn't have a lot of time, you have to look at and evaluate and analyze what you're doing throughout your day now, and what can you eliminate to put aside that hour or 2 hours per day to learn this new skill, right? Because without putting the time into this, it's not going to happen. It's not a get rich quick scheme,
Yeah.
right? You have to put in the effort. But if you're watching TV, or you're going out with your friends, and you need to do all that, right? You need to spend time with your friends and family. But I'm talking about that short-term sacrifice in order to learn that skill set to be able to create more time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a time issue. As far as funding, you know, I I truly believe in being resourceful and making it happen. So, uh, like I said, I didn't come from money. I didn't have money to ask for from friends or family or anything like that. But I always knew that if I worked hard at something, like I could put aside some money. Like for example, when we were in college, I would pay for my rent by buying and selling motorcycles.
Huh.
That's all I did to pay my rent. And then
That's awesome.
after college, I got into digital marketing, and of course the student loans were hard to pay off, and as well as all my other expenses. But if someone truly wants to make a change,
Mhm.
they will find a way to eliminate either some expenses or get creative on how to create a little bit more income to fund this new venture, right? But there has to be some kind of short-term sacrifice
Mhm.
in order to get to the long-term goal. And the people that are truly ready to make a change in their lives will find a way.
Okay.
That's something I personally believe.
No, that's an excellent answer. And then, just to chime in, because I mean, it's just a conversation. I'm sure people would love to hear it. I was kind of like the same way when I first started trading. I was working 40 hours per week. I was working on a mobile app at the time, so I was driving for Uber like another 20 to 30 hours per week. And my schedule was basically like 7:30 to I think it was like 3:30. I would get off work. I'd come home. I'd have like maybe an hour to like eat, change, whatever. I'd go back out for Uber, and I'd Uber from maybe like 5 or so until like 9, 10 p.m. And then from 10 until maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning, I would study charts. I would try to trade the London session. And then if I got stuck in trades, I would sneak on my phone. I know I'm not like trying to like motivate people to sneak on their phone at work, but I would sneak on my phone or on my computer at work to look at the charts and manage my trades. So, like Cam is saying, everybody watching this, like it is possible as long as you put the effort in. And luckily, this is a 24/5 market. So, it's completely possible. But Cam, I definitely appreciate you hopping on with me, man. Did you have any like last minute things that you want to chime in, or?
No, I think we went over everything. And if you're still kind of on the fence and you're listening to this, truly ask yourself: is the life that you're living right now, are you truly satisfied? Like, are you 100% fulfilled? And if the answer is no, let's make a change, right? Commit yourself to something that will make that change in your life, because it is possible. I'm not only a testimonial, but I've been through the whole journey of not being satisfied with my life, having to put in those extra hours, looking for ways to save up for my trading account, as well as for my mentorship. And I knew that I wanted to make that change, and I knew this was the path. If you're still kind of hesitant, um, there's a lot of different ways to make money, but when you look at the pros and cons of all of them, being able to work from anywhere in the world, as well as on your own time, and having the ability to make six figures, and even up to seven figures, um, it's by far the best solution in my eyes.
I agree. Well, awesome, man. I think I definitely appreciate you hopping on. Definitely appreciate you sharing your story with everyone. And you have a good one, man.
You
Keep
too.
killing it.
All
Keep
right, take
killing it.
care, Nemo.
Peace.